Salutations everyone, hello, how's it going? Here we are for another part, this time in Zeiss. Seriously though, here comes me again gushing about this game. This game is so pretty. And now obviously in terms of graphics it's nothing like crazy or like groundbreaking, but I just really like how the game looks. It looks really nice. Very... what's the right word to say? It looks good. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It looks really good. You know, especially coming from the originals. It's so cool to see how this series has evolved. Alright, but I've already gushed about this game like a million times. So not this time. Not as much. Alright, so last time we stopped in Zeiss. We had a bunch of side quests to do, I think. Right? Yeah, we do, but I think I have yet to accept them. I think I didn't accept them on purpose so that I wouldn't forget what they are. Greetings, hello Christopher, hello Almighty. How are you both doing? Let's see, where's the bulletin board?
Let's check it out.
There we go. Temporary librarian wanted. Yeah, we have to go to the central factory, alright. And this one... There's a monster. Only 2 of them. Okay, only 2 side quests. That's pretty simple. Oh yeah, by the way, Christopher, thank you again for the contribution. Once again, you contributed off stream. Thank you very much. We're very close to finishing the goal. Once we do finish the goal, I will be working on the video once I upload the Kurumi Noa Spotlight, because I'm already working on the Kurumi Noa Spotlight. I'm already on the editing side of things. Hopefully I can get the video done in 2 weeks. Might take longer than 2 weeks, it really depends. It's a long one. This one is actually gonna be 15 minutes long. But I think it's gonna be a fun video. Again, I say this about every video I make, but I am very excited to release this one. I'm very excited. Because this video brings out that storytelling aspect that I very much enjoy in my videos. You know, if you guys enjoyed the Minato Aqua's Elysium, I think you guys will enjoy this next video, because in some sections I bring that storytelling aspect into it. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, even though this video is this long, it might not take as long to finish. Compared to all the other videos, because the sections that make this video particularly long are tournament sections. And those are not as difficult to work with, because these tournament sections usually have very specific sources, right? In this case, even if I am taking a long time with one particular tournament, the source is the same, right? So I don't need to spend so much time looking for sources. And even though I am using multiple POVs from multiple VTubers, I actually found that someone made an entire playlist with every single POV of the V-Psycho tournaments, and that makes my job way easier. Like, way easier. So I actually think I can finish the video within this month. Hopefully 2 weeks. I'm trying to aim for 2 weeks, but we'll see. Obviously, I won't rush it. It'll be out when it's out, but still though, 2 weeks is what I'm aiming for. My apartment's internet is still dead. My mobile internet is not great, but it's fine enough. Yeah, I was wondering like how you were like being able to tune into the stream. So you're using mobile, okay. I mean, this close to finishing the goal, you are either working on the previous video or you're looking into pre-work. Within this month is a slight rush? I suppose so. I do want to get the videos out. There are times when I'm like, maybe I could make this video even better, but I'm like, okay, but at this point I'm already delaying the video enough. And I feel like I could always make every video always better, right? Infinitely. But I think there comes a point where if you don't release something, then it will never be out. Because you could always improve more and more, but if you let that stop you from releasing, then you'll never have a video out. And I find that it's much easier for me to improve at what I do if I just sometimes accept, okay, it's an imperfect result, but we learn from it and we'll move on to the next thing. That's kind of the philosophy that I've always had with the beginner's guide, for example. You know, I'll always make sure to not rush it and release it when I feel like it's a good product, right? But there are many times where I'm like, okay, this is imperfect, but I think, you know, I did my best. Could I make it better? Yes, but I think I'll learn more by just accepting the imperfect result and moving on to the next thing where I can apply what I've learned. And this way I can release things without necessarily letting the perfectionist in me stopping me from actually getting things done, you know? Ah, here's old man with glasses. He's a... We'll be seeing this character more. Oh, it's the 31st day. Wait, you're right. For some reason I thought it was already June. No, yeah, it's the 31st still. Yeah, I mean June. Within June, I'll try to release it. So this is the problem. Okay, we'll see more of him later. Still, this elderly man seems to be concentrated on something. We don't need anything from him, so let's not interrupt him. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, finishing today is yeah, that's a mega rush. I don't think I could do it. I definitely would not be able to do it. Even if I really tried and drank like the greatest amount of coffee I've ever drank, it would not be done today. Not even close.
The new orbital vacuum is so
okay,
nice.
so let's see. Where should I go first? Let's fight a bit, because, you know, usually whenever I do gameplay stuff, like a lot of fighting, those are usually the times where I get to yap more. And I'm feeling in a yapping mood right now. So let's do the monster extermination first. Or maybe not, because it's a monster extermination, right? We only have 2 characters right now. Maybe I should get my 3rd playable character first. I wonder. Let's see. What's the... Okay, they're both long. So maybe I should finish I should advance the main story until we get Tita again. And then I can do the monster. But let's do this one first, though, looking for librarian. Because this one is easy, it doesn't really require anything. Also, I should check out the stores as well. It's June 1st by my time. Okay, then I guess I was correct if we go by the Asian time zones right now. YouTube DVR and caching stutters are... Wait, let me check something, just to be sure. Okay, it's green on my side. Because, you know, sometimes it could be on my side. You know, I do have notorious internet issues, but right now it's green. So maybe it's not on my side.
Which one should I pick?
Let's see, what do we have in the store? Oh, right.
I'll take this.
I've been forgetting to read the journals, the LeBron news. I forgot to do the orbment tinkerings that I said I would do off stream, but it's alright. It's not a big deal as of now. Oh, we already have the money. Okay, there we go. Speaking of VTubers and competitive games, I've been adding VTubers into Nobunaga's ambition, so my update on that is that I already added all the Neoporte members, all the active Neoporte members. They only have 2 graduated members, those are the only 2 I did not add. But I added everyone else into the game. And I also went on a deep dive of Specialité. Apparently I've been pronouncing it wrong this entire time. I've been pronouncing it Specialite. They're also a gaming-focused agency. And I've been pronouncing it Specialite, even in the video that I did last year about the golden age of esports VTubing. I pronounced it Specialite, but it's incorrect. The correct pronunciation is in French, it's Specialité. So I was pronouncing it wrong the whole time. But yeah, I went on a deep dive of Specialité, and I added a bunch. I added all the EN members. I already had added the .eve members, Now I added the Gen 1 members of EN. Well, EN isn't a thing anymore, they all graduated, right? Because the EN branch was disbanded. Well, they didn't graduate, actually, they went indie. They kept the IPs. They only have one EN graduated member, but she graduated before the branch was disbanded. So, she didn't have the chance yet to go indie. Right, I did not eat the food yet, of course it's not there. And then I added a bunch of JP members. I didn't add them all, kinda like Nanashi Inc. When I added Nanashi Inc., I told myself I'm not gonna add them all, because there's a lot. And I'll add like around half, maybe.
That was satisfying.
I did the same thing with Specialite. I'm a bit biased towards, you know, Vispo Hololive and Neoporte, that's why I added them all. But in the case of Specialite, because I'm still very new to them, I only added over half. Which honestly is more than I thought I was gonna add. I was gonna add like around 6-7 members. I ended up adding almost like over half of them. I added everyone from Gen 1 and 2, and a bunch of Gen 2, Gen 3 I mean, plus Anshi in Misa. So that's a lot of them, like, what, 12 members that I added? 12 JP members maybe? That's a lot. It was cool discovering them, because I knew that Specialite was a gaming focus agency, but I always thought that they were more casual. And yes, they do have some more casual gamers in there, but they actually have really sweaty members too, like a lot of them, that are very strong, like Vispo and Neoporto level strong. We usually don't really see them in tournaments that much, but they are pretty strong too. Some of them do participate in tournaments. It's more so the Street Fighter players in the agency that are more active in tournaments. The FPS ones, from what I've seen, they're not as active in the esports scene. But they have some really strong ones. Just like Vispo, they're all girls, though. They're not like Neoporto that is mixed. They do sound specialized. Some of them are, definitely. They got a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate specialist. She is VIP with every single character and almost got to Elite Smash. She's also like Grandmaster in Shadowverse for like 20 seasons in a row. Her name is Chinen Sera. She also participated in the Newtown GTA event like this year. They got a bunch of FPS players, you know, a few Apex players, a bunch of Valorant players. And they got a lot of Street Fighter 6 players as well. Obviously, Honami Azasa being like one of the more prominent ones. She's also the most popular in the agency. She specializes. She loves fighting games. She plays both Street Fighter 6 and she also plays Guilty Gear, which is cool because there's not as many Guilty Gear Strive players in VTubing, but she likes Guilty Gear Strive. I think she mains. Damn, I forgot his name. Damn, I played Guilty Gear Strive. How am I forgetting his name? Damn, I forgot his name. Blonde guy, sword blonde guy. Damn. Banger theme song. Ride the Lightning. Damn, what's his name? Ride the Lightning. Oh, help me, Almighty. You know his name. You play Guilty Gear 2 as well. Kai Kisk, thank you. Yes, of course. Thank you. Yeah, Kai Kisk. I think she mains Kai Kisk. But yeah, it's cool. She plays Guilty Gear as well. Metallica's second album. But yeah, honestly, I enjoyed Specialite. I'm gonna keep an eye on Specialite from now on for sure. I really enjoy them too. Again, I am a bit biased. I have always been a fan of, competitive games. So, this entire rabbit hole of the JP scene having so many competitive gamers has been a very nice find. Again, when I mainly watched Hololive, even back then, you could tell that I had a particular liking for esports, you know, in VTubing, because of how much I was obsessed with the Hololive Mario Kart tournaments, you know, the really sweaty ones that we used to have back then. I really obsessed with those Mario Kart tournaments because I really enjoy this aspect, this esports aspect of Hololive, where we could judge Hololive members by how good they were at the game, and you know, kind of create some legends about it. Then you had the really good players, right? And then you had the stories that they would make, that they would write just by trying to win. It was super cool, right? And obviously, I got super into members like Tokoyami Toa and Minato Aqua, and you know, the whole start-end arc that they went through. It was super cool, and that was my gateway into the overall, you know, JP scene, because it was through Start-End's participation in the Apex v Psycho Season 4 back in 2022 that I got to discover the wider esports side of JP, which has been amazing for me to discover, that we used to watch back then. Yeah, it's a shame that we don't have those anymore, right? Like the tournament, these last 2 days, the Mario Kart tournaments we've had were more casual, unfortunately. They're not the sweaty ones that we used to have. Toa said that she'd like to bring it back, but we don't know when it's gonna happen. Right now, Toa is also kind of busy. Toa has been far more dedicated into making Street Fighter 6 events together with the overall JP scene, rather than making internal, you know, Hololive events. So it's understandable, right? Because you need to keep in mind that Toa has been extremely invested in the JP esports scene for many years now, right? She has so many friends, she has so many connections in it, and the people that you have in the scene, in the wider esports scene, they tend to be more aligned with her. They tend to be more aligned with her in terms of like goals and vibes, right? I mean, Toa, again, there's a big joke in the Vispo fandom that Toa is an unofficial Vispo member, right? Because she really has Vispo energy. Like, Toa is the most Vispo of all Hololive members, you could say. And I think Toa feels really at home making tournaments for, you know, VTubers inside the esports side of things, even if it's outside of Hololive. And that's why she's making her second Street Fighter 6 tournament now. The Toa, I think, is it Toa Cup? Tokoyami Cup, I think. And yeah, Botan has also been doing it a lot too. I did not watch the most recent Shishiro Cup. I need to take a look at it. But yeah, Botan also made the Shishiro Cup 4th, and also the Shishiro Cup East vs West, another one that she does with Laplace. The second Tokoyami Cup. Yeah, that she's working on it. Or has it been already a thing? I did not watch the second Tokoyami Cup yet. I don't know if it's already passed or if it's still to come. But I did see that she was hosting it. I need to take a look at it. But yeah, it's cool. Okay, I probably should progress the side quest before I continue, because we have more gameplay after this. Then I can continue on this idea. Greetings, and how are you? Did I miss the lobby? Don't worry. She's part of this chapter. She left, right? But she'll be back in a bit. Don't worry. You'll get to see Tita in this chapter. Don't worry. Hey, got a minute? We came to help with the posting on the bulletin board. Let's just do the side quests first, and then I continue the yapping, so that we're not like just looking at a still image, you could say. Oh, that was fast. I only just posted that request. We transferred recently, so we have to give it our all. Is it alright if I cut straight to the job details? Yes. Yeah, 5 minutes of the stream and we're already watching PowerPoint gameplay. Yeah. I need to save that. I need to save the yapping for the gameplay sections of the streams. Not the story sections. So let's pause the esports talk of VTubing and resume it later. Alright. Something about recruiting a temporary librarian, right? Yes, that's right. There's a bit of a problematic task that we need to help with. Problematic task? I'll explain that part later. First, there's something else that needs to be taken care of. Could I ask you to help with that first? The something else is? The archive lends out books to the labs of the factory. Sometimes they aren't returned even well past the due date. For starters, I want you to recover these books. Oh, that's easy. Where do we go? Let's see, they were lent to design room on the 3rd floor and the clinic on the 4th floor. 3rd floor, design, 4th floor, clinic. Got it. Is that it? That's right. Please take care of it as soon as you can. You got it. Let's get started. Alright. Nice. Nice and nice. So 3rd floor and 4th floor. Alright, easy, no problem. You got it, boss. We'll do it. Alright, we'll use the opportunity and yap more. So yeah, I think Toa just feels more at home making tournaments that include people from the esports side, because they tend to be more aligned with their from both as an entertainer's way, kind of way, and you could say in a competitive philosophical kind of way. There we go. Got it.
Crystal what?
Looks like it's a journal on orbital technology.
There we go. We got one of them. Obviously, within Whole Life, you know, the tournaments were pretty competitive too. The Mario Kart ones. Obviously, there was a huge skill gap. You know, you had some members that were more dedicated than others that were just better competitive gamers than others. But still, though, it was fun. It was fun, but
with this, tomorrow's cooking
you could only go so far with it.
Recipe.
And that's understandable, obviously. There was once that Botan was asked, actually, hey, why not making a whole life only a Street Fighter tournament? And Botan's response to it was that it would be really difficult to do that, because she doesn't know how she could actually be able to do that, because again, Whole Life is not really esports focused. You have a huge gap. Oh, there she is. Hi, Tita. Well, if you're having trouble when you switch modes, I think there's something wrong with the storage. Have you checked that part already? Okay, but she's not playable yet. She'll join us in a bit. She's busy right now. Right, yeah. The skill gap is way too wide, exactly. And especially in a game like Street Fighter 6, you know, with Mario Kart, you know, it's Mario Kart. To a certain extent, you can kinda make it work, right? Obviously, there's still a huge skill gap even within Mario Kart in Whole Life, right? But because it is more of a party game, even if you're not particularly that good, you still always have a bit of a fighting chance. I mean, case in point, Jufute Raden in the season 6 of the Holo New Year Cup. She literally purchased the game like one day before the tournament. She was not going to participate in the tournament, but she was replacing Chloe, because Chloe got sick, right? She got COVID, so she decided to drop out of the tournament, and as a result, there was one person missing, and Raden was drunk, and she decided, hey, you know what? I'll participate, I'll replace Chloe. And she did, and she bought the game one day before the tournament. No practice, nothing. And she went in, and she was actually doing really well. Right? She was actually doing really well, and she was actually first place, I think, in one of the races. She did not finish first, but she was first for a while. That was crazy. It was Baby Park, to be fair. You know, Baby Park is kinda RNG of a map. But still, though. It was kinda crazy. So that's my case in point. Even if you're not that good, you still have a bit of a fighting chance. Obviously, the best ones are gonna be the most consistent, and they're the ones that usually win. Case in point, Suisse is top 2 every time, except the first tournament, she's always top 2. She's either first or she's second. With the exception of the very first tournament, because the very first tournament she was in the Zako Cup. That was before her training arc. Part of the randomness in Mario Kart was the most interesting part. I mean, to be fair, I do prefer when things are more consistent, right? But I guess there is a bit of a surprise factor in Mario Kart. But still, you can still more or less guess who are going to be the ones that are going to be in the finals, right? A good example of that is the reason why I always do those those videos where I try to predict who's gonna be in the finals, right?
There we go.
And even though there is a lot of RNG in Mario Kart, I could always like be able to predict the vast majority of the ones that were gonna make it to the finals. Like almost all of them. Almost all of the ones that would be in the finals, I was able to predict well. With the exception of maybe 1 or 2 members that I would miss. But other than that, I would be able to guess like 10 of them. Because you can always guess, you know, there's still a big skill gap. But yeah, if you go into like games like Street Fighter, then that skill gap is gonna be even more steep. Because there's less RNG in Street Fighter, it's a much more skill-based game, right? And especially if you look at the Street Fighter players within Hololive, even within Hololive, there's already an insane skill gap between members. Case in point, you know, Pekora actually enjoys Street Fighter 6. Pekora has played a fair amount of Street Fighter 6. But Pekora is not a competitive gamer. And you can definitely tell, right? She's not particularly good at the game, right? And, you know, she played Street Fighter with Minato Aqua before she graduated. Aqua was grinding it for like, what? Less than 1 month? And she was already kicking Pekora's ass that was playing it for months at that point. Same thing with Ayame. Ayame decided to get into the game for a while. Like, she played it for a few weeks and she was already kicking Pekora's ass again. As well. Because, well, Aqua and Ayame are both competitive gamers. Pekora is not. And that kind of changes the mentality that you have in a game, right? Competitive gamers generally are going to be better at games. Especially PvP games. Because they have the right mentality of how to beat other people, right? How to win. How to get good at games, right? Pekora is good at games, right? But PvP games are not really her forte. She's better at like regular single player games. She does hold her own. Like, for example, even though she's not really much of an FPS player, during the Rust events, Pekora was always pretty strong. But obviously she's no competitive gamer. And then again, if you look at everyone that plays Street Fighter within Hololive, you have some that are super high ranked. Korone participated in the Crazy Raccoon Cup for Street Fighter. You know, she already has some competitive experience. Even if it's small, it's just one tournament. It's still experience, you know. She even got coached. You know, she got coached by a very nice coach. Rest in peace. Let's see, Botan also made it to Master Rank. Participated in several Crazy Raccoon Cups for Street Fighter. And, you know, she's been hosting lots of tournaments. She's super into the whole scene. Ayame might not be that high rank yet because she doesn't play the game that much, but she already shows a lot of potential. I think she made it, to gold, I think, already? I'm not sure. But she has really good potential. Again, she's a competitive gamer. I think Subaru actually made it to Master Rank. Subaru went on a Street Fighter grind, and she made it. She succeeded after 1 year. She succeeded in making it to Master Rank. Let's see. Toa also made it to Master Rank recently. She's been grinding Street Fighter 6. She's been participating in many tournaments already, and now she's even hosting her own. And yeah, Toa is Master now as well. So, as you can see, even within Hololive, if you were to make a Street Fighter tournament with everyone that plays Street Fighter, first of all, you'd need more people for a tournament. You'd need to get more people in it. But the skill gap would be insane. Like, the tournament would be dominated by like Toa, Botan, maybe Subaru, right? They would pretty much dominate the entire tournament. It would not be even close. Oh yeah, Aki Rosenthal also plays Street Fighter. She's Diamond. She made it to Diamond. She advances at a slow pace, but she has made it pretty well. She's done really well. So yeah, the skill gap is just too insane. You couldn't do that. And I think even within Mario Kart you could see that. And that's why it's much easier for people like Toa and Botan to make tournaments outside of Hololive, where they, instead of being restricted to just Hololive, they can include VTubers from all over the JP scene that are also competitive gamers, that are also pretty like-minded individuals in that sense, right? And you have a much bigger selection of participants. And especially Toa, that has so many connections, Botan too now at this point, Botan and Toa have so many connections in the wider JP scene from all the esports, you know, that they've been doing, basically. So yeah. Well, how's the book hunt coming along? I love Mario Kart. I always play with my sis. I used to play Mario Kart when I was younger. I played the DS version. I never played Mario Kart 8. I only played the DS Mario Kart. Pretty fun. I like them. Same with Smash Bros. Everyone is playing for fun, meanwhile Marin is cracking heads with their Pikachu. Yeah, that's a good example. Like, Pekora and Marin both played Smash Bros with each other. Marin would always win, because Marin is just way better, right? Way better. Now, obviously, the best player, the best Smash Bros player within Hololive was Aqua. Aqua was really good. She made it to VIP. She made it to VIP. But yeah. I wonder when Sakuna is gonna do esports. I wonder. I miss her. Take a look at this. We got them all. Great. Now please go ahead and fetch the rest. Wait, there's more? Oh, there's more. Alright then. But it's cool to see how much the esports scene is growing. I already made a video last year wondering if we're going through a VTubing esports golden age, you know, in the Japanese scene. But really, even if you compare it to those months before, things have grown so much. Things have really grown a lot. There's even more tournaments now. Super cool. Let's see, where is this? Where is this place? I'm a bit lost. I always got a bit lost in here. There we go, over there. I used to play Smash Bros. Ultimate. Not Ultimate. Actually, was it Ultimate? No, it was a 3DS Smash Bros. I played the 3DS Smash Bros. Who did I main? I played 3 characters. I played Shulk, Rosalina and Luma, and also... who was it? Palutena. Yeah, Palutena as well. Those were the 3 characters I played. But I think Shulk was the one that I played the most. Wait, this is not the way. Can't go here. The door is locked. Oh, it's over there. Feel like... basement. We're already in the basement. What the hell? Oh, outside. Over here. In the tunnel? I don't remember this. Wait, it's not in the tunnel. Okay, then most likely... it's probably in the top floors, but for some reason I thought it was here. Never mind. Okay, let's use the elevator. To the roof. I played Mario Kart 8 with my friend who have Switch. He was playing for years. I was first time playing, but with Sharing getting whole life cup and learning how to play in maps, I start beating him. You know what? Understandable. I know the feeling. I also became better at Apex from watching VTubers, for example. I got into gold from watching Selen Tatsuki play during her solo Master Rank challenge. So yeah, I relate to that. I very much relate with that. I mean, you can learn a lot from watching better players play. Like, watching Vispo alone has been great for me to learn, to get better at a lot of games. Selene was insane in the game, yep. Pretty strong. Within the EN scene, I'd say she's probably one of the stronger Apex players. Now, it's been a long time since she played the game now, because she hasn't really been playing Apex. but she was pretty much one of the strongest VTubers in the EN scene in Apex. Now, who's the actual strongest? I'm not sure. Oh, wait. Give me just a moment. Give me just a moment, real quick. Alright, I'm back.
Cat talk? Is this real?
I remember Mokoko saying
I think it's
Momo
just a
Meadow
joke,
Dang.
but
She's so
it's
cute.
an interesting book
She's
nonetheless.
very, very cute. So yeah, I do hope we get a Mario Kart tournament, a serious one again. Because I was asked if I was gonna do like predictions videos for like the New Year's Games Fest that Toa does every New Year's, but it's not the same thing. Because again, it's not like the sweaty individual tournaments that we had before. The new tournaments are like team-based, and you don't have all the best players in there anymore. It's not the same. I personally don't find as much enjoyment. They're definitely more casual, so that's why I don't do the prediction videos anymore. If we get the return of the sweaty ones, I will. I definitely will do the prediction videos again. But until then, maybe I'll retire that series until the return of the tournaments. Speaking about tournaments, we got quite a lot of things to look out for as well. You know, with the exception of the Tokoyami Cup and all that, we now also have a V-Psycho tournament that was announced weeks ago. I forgot to mention it on stream, but we have a V-Psycho tournament that was announced for Street Fighter 6. This will be the second Street Fighter 6 V-Psycho tournament. Well, the previous one was last year. Shibuya Hall, he hasn't been doing Apex V-Psychos anymore. He's been doing instead Valorant and Street Fighter V-Psychos. So we're gonna get Street Fighter 6 V-Psycho in June. We don't know the participants yet. Shibuya Hall has not revealed the participants, so that's gonna be pretty cool. I was thinking of making a video, you know, introducing every single participant, because I've been wanting to talk about V-Psycho more in the channel. I've been wanting to maybe like do a video similar to the predictions videos I used to do, but rather than predicting, you know, who's gonna win, I just would like to do an introduction on the participants. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it, but because right now I think I'm gonna be kinda, you know, busy with work, right? I need to finish the Kuruminoa spotlight. I'm probably gonna have the viewer chosen VTubers guide. VTubers guide, the viewer chosen beginners guide to work on, and I also have a bunch of plans for like this summer that I want to do. So I don't think I'm gonna get the time for you know, to make a time-sensitive video like a V-Psycho introduction video. So I might skip this one. If it was Apex, I probably would go. I would probably try and do it. But for Street Fighter, I guess I'll skip this time. I'll skip this time. But I'm pretty hyped for it. Well, how's the book hunt coming along? Take a look at this. Ah, great! You've retrieved all the books. Great work. That was easy. It was quite simple. I like that attitude. In that case, I'll ask you to start on the main job. Oh yeah. You said there was something problematic that needed dealing with. What kind of task is it? It's basically the same as what you just did, retrieving an overdue item. The book in question is titled The Herb Woodpecker. Be sure to write that down. Yeah, the herb woodpecker. It's about a bird? So, do we have any clues? Technically, yes. Take a look at this. A silent stone man, guardian of the calm pond, approach his domain in a far mountain village. Behold, and ye shall receive. I noted everything down, but what even is this? It was written on the library checkout card. It seems like it's a hint as to where the book is. Oh no, it's Blue Blancos again. A hint on where it was hidden? So someone borrowed the book just to go and hide it? It seems that way. It was done by some long-gone researcher of the past. I don't know what compelled them to do this. There are some strange folk here, though. I'm not surprised they have strange traditions. Well, good luck. I hope you manage to find it. Oh, hold on. This is seriously the only clue we have to go on? Yes, that's it. This is exactly why I hired the Bracer Guild. Ugh. Well, when you put it that way, there's not much else I can say. Understood. It's a difficult task, but we'll rise to the challenge. You should find it if you take a good look around the Zeiss region. I'll be working here as always, so bring the book to me if you find it. I guess we just gotta do what we gotta do. I'll be relying on you guys.
Woo! All done.
Cat talk for dummies? Wait, let me check.
By the way,
Oh,
Leave it to me.
I
I got it!
did we really have
this
two
is
Blue
an
Blanc
Easter
missions?
egg. I wonder if that's a hint.
Surely we can't have two Blue Blanc missions here. No, it can't be Blue Blanc.
Huh? Then
Because Blue Blanc always has like his calling card with Phantom Thief B whenever he does his thing, so it can't be this. Also, I did not read these things. It's fine. It's fine. This is basically the news of what we
maybe
saw
we should
already.
head to-
Let's see, books. Others. Yeah, cat talk for dummies. Cat language varies by region and may not always match the provided written examples exactly, much like human dialects. Additionally, the lengthening of sounds represented by a tilde in examples is closely tied to a cat's personality and emotions, resulting in considerable individual variation. The examples provided here are representatives only. Practical examples. Meow! Indeed, it is so. Strong affirmation. Meow go. This direction, if you please, guiding. Meow! That is correct. Nya ya ya! Hurrah! Expression of jubilation. Nya ya go. Kindly hold a moment. Nya. My claws are such a bother. Irritation. Nya. I'm positively famished. Meow. Take heed. Meow. No. Yeah. Meow. I'm beset by fatigue. Meow. Pray tell, who might you be? Meow. Yes, that is indeed correct. There you go. That's cat language. They're very specific, you know. They're very polite cats. Pray tell, who might you be? I can imagine like a tsundere, you know, a tsundere high class cat girl speaking like this. Pray tell, who might you be? You know, you guys better remember this. This is gonna be in the tests, and I'm not joking. You need to know. You need to remember these expressions. Meow? Is something the matter? Meow. Ah, we meet again. We're meeting someone again after a short interval. Nyago. It has been a while indeed. How have you been? How have you fared? Meow. Farewell. Meow. Yes, precisely. Nyago. Wait. Yeah. Nyago. Salutations. Fumia. Yon. Meow. Pardon? What did you say? Expressed when asking again with slight reproach. Meow. Tummy is rumbling. Meow. I extend my apologies. Oh, that's it. Yeah, there you go. So, guys, remember all the cat language. It's very important. This may actually work with Okayu. Maybe. Ora, maybe. We gotta try it out, maybe one day. Alright, let's go outside and do the other quest then.
Here to get your orbits
About the
adjusted.
test light data.
Nyago is just a CEO Hall Live in cat language. Nyago, wait, yeah, I get it. True.
This is the place for state-of-the-art
Cat.
tech.
It's just Yago, but with cat ears. Cat boy Yago.
We at the guild?
Alright, I did not go to the weapon shop yet.
The new orbital vacuum is
Probably buy
nuts.
better weapons.
Hey, welcome. What do we need?
There we go.
I got it.
There we go.
I'll pick this.
Nice, sir.
I got it.
That's the fence is not as big of a deal.
Alright, it's decided.
We got the craft shoes.
I got it.
And now we just need to improve it.
I'll pick
I'll go
this.
for the work gloves, why not? Yes, and now what we need to do
See you later.
is improve it. So let's go to the Orbo shop.
The
Oh
new
right, I
orbital
forgot. The
vacuum
Orbo
is
shop
so
in this
The
place
guild is so
is literally the central factory. You have a giant
This is
Orbo
the
shop
place
instead.
for state-of-the-art tech.
That's what. Anyway, so
about the test light data.
let's see. Yeah, there we go.
What
This
do
is
we
it.
need?
Spike rod upgraded, cookies upgraded, work jumpsuits upgraded,
Alright, it's
craft
decided.
shoes
It's decided.
also
This.
upgraded. There we go. That is all. Very good, very good.
Please come again.
Let's do the rest. Okay, now where was I? In my yapping, Right, so my entire esports yapping began because I was talking about how I went on a deep dive of speciality.
new orbital vacuum is so
I was actually considering maybe I should eventually make a video where I introduce VTuber agencies, right? It's like a beginner's guide,
The planes just
but
stretched
to
on
agencies,
forever.
just in general. And I could do one focused on esports agencies,
Love to go for a run.
You're not a dog,
or
Estelle.
gaming
You're
agencies in
always
general.
so carefree.
For example,
My blade isn't working.
I would probably include, Vispo, Neoporte, Specialite, and as an honorable mention, Reject. Reject is not a VTuber agency; they're a regular esports agent company org, but they are kind of special because over the years,
Could be trouble.
Reject has been accepting a lot of VTubers, but in recent months they've just straight up been doing VTuber auditions. They've been hosting VTuber auditions, and honestly, at this point, the only reason why they're not a VTuber agency is just because they are a regular esports agency with regular streamers as well.
Let's do this.
But they have a lot of VTubers in there.
How's this?
So I would probably include them as an honorable mention in a gaming-focused VTuber beginner's guide for agencies. I wonder if there's any more. If you guys know of any other gaming-focused agency, particularly with an esports focus, do tell me, because I'll be interested in discovering them.
I'm going on perfect move. Too late.
Also because it doesn't matter if it's JP or EN, but I think it's nice. I'd like to give support to agencies like that. Particularly in EN, because again, I feel like we need more of those in EN if you want to see an actual unified, EN esports scene, like we have in JP. EN very much needs it. Currently, in EN, you only have Vispo EN, right? Speciality, again, does not have their EN branch anymore, so the members have gone indie. And unfortunately, both due to the lack of connections in EN, as well as a lack of tournaments, it's much harder for EN VTubers to participate in tournaments, because there's just not as much opportunity for it.
I'll show no mercy.
I feel like a unified esports scene would be great for everyone involved, because if people start connecting with each other, then they're more likely to invite each other and make collaborative projects together.
Here, Estelle.
Cloud9 have a VTuber, but it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. For two reasons. And the two reasons is because, number one, Cloud9, again, they only have one VTuber, right? They're not really a VTuber agency. They're similar to Crazy Raccoon, right? Where Crazy Raccoon also has one VTuber, right? It's Akami Kadobi. But they're not like Reject that has a bunch of VTubers and even does auditions now for VTubers. Not only that, at least Crazy Raccoon is integrated in an ecosystem full of VTubers, right? The JP esports scene, right? You have lots of VTubers, they're always doing tournaments, they're always inviting VTubers. Again, they are extremely involved into the JP VTubing scene. With Cloud9, that's not really the same, right? You don't really see Cloud9 be super involved with the VTubing scene. Also because, again, EN VTubing is not unified like JP VTubing, obviously. But it definitely isn't the same. They're not part of VTuber culture. Vienna, which is the VTuber of Cloud9, she does, she has like collaborated VTubers here and there, for sure. But it's still not the same we have in JP. EN VTuber competitive scene is playing for vibes.
Not enough.
I mean, the EN competitive VTubers, a lot of them are interested in participating in events. They are. It's just that the opportunity is not really there.
Watch for ranged attacks.
You don't have as many people making tournaments, you don't have as much audience for it, because that's also a big thing, right? The VTuber audience for like esports in EN is not as big as it is in JP. Because you need to understand that in JP, the VTuber audience of JP VTubing has a lot of overlap with the just regular streamers in Japan. And a lot of them happen to be esports gamers. As a result of that, even a lot of people that are not necessarily like VTuber fans end up watching VTubers in JP. Because in Japan, I mean, VTubers are just regular YouTubers, right? It's just that they use a model. Oh, you don't get the joke? Oh wait, you're making a joke. Sorry, I didn't get it then.
Estelle, do it.
I can be a bit slow with jokes. The Niji Rift also makes the EN scene kind of split. I actually don't think that's that much of an issue anymore. Nishisanji, I don't think is that much of a rift compared to other sides of VTubing these days. And the reason why I say this is because among VTubers that are esports gamers in EN, a lot of them already collab with Nishisanji VTubers. If you notice, like Vispo EN, the Special Light Girls, and many others that are integrated in the into esports in EN, a lot of them already collaborate with Nishisanji EN members. Most of the VTubers that maintain that rift with Nishisanji are not competitive gamers in the first place. So, as a result of that, it's not a big deal. There are exceptions, obviously. Obviously, we're not gonna see Dokibird collaborate amicably with Nishi EN members, right? For good reason, for understandable reasons, right? That said, as long as they're not in the same team, it is still possible to have them in the same tournament. Because again, Finana and Dokibird participated in the same Marvel Rivals tournament.
The perfect move.
They were in the same tournament. So the ban that Nishisanji used to have with former members is no longer a thing. And to be fair, this is true. This has been true for many months now.
Leave it to me. The perfect move.
Let's see. Both in EN and JP, Nishisanji talents have already collaborated with former talents. In JP, we have many examples. Obviously, the majority of those examples are like events, right? Collab events. But there's one situation where it's not a collab event. It's Aoi Sakura and Morinaka Kanzaki. The two of them collabed multiple times one-on-one. Like one-on-one collabs. Aoi Sakura used to be a Nishisanji JP member from Gen 1. And she and Morinaka Kazaki have already like collabed one-on-one many times now. So we can see now that in JP, it's no longer a thing, that ban. And again, there's been multiple other cases of members interacting in collab events as well, even if it's not one-on-one. In the end though, we also have that now. Again, Dokibird and Finana were part of the same tournament, but there was also a one-on-one collab between Aya from Niji EN, and Sunny Explosion, who also was an Niji EN member who graduated. So, the collab ban is no longer a thing. It seems like Nishisanji allows their talents to collab with former talents now, and we have precedents of that in both branches. Coupled with the fact that a lot of gamers in EN already collab with Nishisanji members, I think Nishisanji is not really the issue anymore for like a rift in EN. Rather, what I would say the rift is, I think the rift is more what I usually talk about.
Fire!
The Twitch side of VTubing versus well, actually no, let me take back this. It's not the Twitch side of VTubing that's the issue. No. It's the culturally... Well, okay, actually, it's not one side, it's multiple sides. Because EN is very fragmented into multiple sides. You have like the loot tubing, the shoujo, you know, influenced side of VTubing. You have the political side of VTubing, right? You have the more, you know, keeping itself more idle, isolated kind of VTubing, and then you have like the more general entertainment slash with a hint of esports kind of VTubing. So you have all these kinds of peoples in EN VTubing. Now, the more idle Hololive inspired kind of VTubing in EN tends to be more isolated. They tend to stick on their own. A good example of that is Holo EN. Holo EN is very isolated. We don't really see Holo EN collaborate with VTubers outside of Holo EN. Sometimes they do. There are a few collabs here and there, you know, Heiko Spells, Miori Celesta, for example. And a few other examples here and there, you know, Mint Fantome, Takanashi Kiara. But it's extremely rare for Hololive members in EN to collaborate outside of Hololive. Extremely rare. Hololive sticks to itself. EN specifically, not JP. JP is different. JP, a lot of their members collaborate outside.
Perfect move.
And I feel that a lot of VTubers in EN that tend to be more Holo EN inspired, more idol inspired, usually stick to themselves. They are more isolated.
I can take them all.
Let's see. Then there's the political side of VTubing. Obviously, we're not gonna see this side collab that much. The political side of VTubing tends to also stick on its own. That's probably for the best, honestly, because you know, the politics makes everything complicated and annoying and toxic. So honestly, it's good. It's good that the political side of VTubing remains isolated on its own corner.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I feel like, especially the political side of VTubing tends to have a lot of red lines. Oh, you can't collab with this person because they have X opinions. Oh, you can't collab with this person because they are friends with X person that is friends with X person that said that, right? That said X thing or holds X opinion, right? It's really annoying, right? There's like so many red lines in the political side of VTubing. It's all about alliances and alignments. It makes the whole thing really, really annoying, right? So, yeah. If that side of VTubing theoretically were mixed with the rest of VTubing, what that would cause is that basically the people would just be at each other's throats at all time. Yeah? People would be at each other's throats the whole time, and that's not what we want. If we want to create a unified esports scene like the one in JP, we cannot have people at each other's throats, right? For example, a lot of people on the side of on the political side of VTubing tend to also be, you know, reaction VTubers that tend to react to a lot of drama, and they react to a lot of VTuber drama, and I feel, and as a result of that, that can also make things awkward if we want to make collab events that include VTubers that were involved in drama, right? Obviously, I have Nishi-sanji in mind when I'm talking about this, you know. Nishi-sanji does not have a good reputation in EN, particularly on the Twitch side of things, particularly on the political side of things, on the reaction side of things, right? Because a lot of VTubers react to drama, a lot of VTubers reacted to a lot of Nishi-sanji drama, you know. So it would make very awkward if we had a collab event that includes, like, for example, imagine someone that reacted to a lot of Nishi-sanji drama was very critical of all talents, and then, look at that, they're in a collab with, like, Nishi-sanji members. That would be kind of awkward for everyone involved. Do keep in mind, not every Nishi-sanji member, just because they're part of Nishi-sanji, does not mean that they were, like, involved in whatever drama happened within Nishi-sanji, right? But it would still make it awkward. Let me give you an example. Ryoma Baronworth. Ryoma Baronworth is a cool dude. He's an Apex player. He's a master rank of Apex. He's part of Nishi-sanji EN. He joined after the drama. Actually, did he? Yeah, he joined after the whole drama that happened. He's been super cooperative with other, like, competitive gamers within EN. He's been collabing with Vispo EN. He's collabed with the .eve girls that were from Specialite, right? He's a cool dude. He's a chill dude. He participates in collabs, right? But because he's part of Nishi-sanji, certain parts of VTubing would immediately have a red line against him just because of that, even though he's never been involved in any drama whatsoever, you know, related to Nishi-sanji. But just because he's part of Nishi-sanji, you know, there would be already a lot of red lines coming from certain parts of VTubing just because of that. And that's the kind of thing that I think would act as a barrier between, you know, to make a unified esports scene in EN. JP does not have this, right? Yeah, not necessarily him even, just his affiliation, exactly. Because Ryoma never did anything wrong. He's just part of Nishi-sanji, and to a lot of people that's enough to make it a red line, right? And this is why we will never have a truly unified, you know, EN scene. Because EN is full of red lines. JP, no. In JP, people remain professional. Okay, maybe there might be a controversy here and there. Not as many because there's not as much drama in JP. Generally, people remain more professional, so there's less drama in general. Again, for every 10 dramas that happen in EN, actually, it's the opposite. For every one drama that happens in JP, there's like 10 dramas in EN, right? So that already makes things much more simple for EN. But just in general, there's far less red lines in JP. Even when there are drama in an agency or something like that, people remain professional and they just let each other collab without issues. They know that they're entertainers, they're trying to entertain, they don't hold it against each other, they tend to resolve their issues privately and professionally, and that's it. If people don't like each other, they simply don't interact with each other, right? Generally, that's how it is. Those that don't like each other, they just don't interact. But they don't hold each other, you know, they don't make like these alliances and alignments. There's no red lines that people understand. Hey, we're just doing this for fun. We're doing this for entertainment. We're trying to, you know, not cause trouble for the wider society, you know. Let's not ruin an entire collab event just because two people have beef with each other, right? That kind of thing.
How's this?
We won't see this in EN. So, what I am an advocate of is that EN, we need to embrace the fact that EN is split. Let's actually embrace the fact that EN is split, because that allows us to create, in a way, our own kind of community. right? We, instead of having a general, you know, VTubing scene in EN that's competitive, that includes everyone, rather, let's instead reunite all the like-minded individuals that are competitive gamers, you know, that just want to make cool competitive events, that want to connect with each other, you know, to make cool content, you know, outside of all the drama that happens in all the other sides, you know, outside of all the political discourse, outside of all, like, the drama tubing and all that. Just bring all the like-minded individuals that just want to make cool collab events and cool competitive events. And there we go. I think we need to embrace that. Ironically, Nijisanji EN have kind of been one of the VTubers that have done this the most. And you wanna know why? So, ever since last year, Nijisanji EN members have been hosting collab events. Now, it's not just Niji EN. We have been seeing an uptick in collab events within the YouTube side of EN. We see sometimes, you know, Holostars EN's members in there. We see small VTubers, some indie, some small corpos. Niji EN members are also part of it too. Now, Niji EN members started hosting collab events. Last year, they hosted the VCraft Enchanted Minecraft event. A lot of VTubers participated. Merryweather, you know, Lucius Merryweather was in it. Camilla was in it. Let's see, many Vispo EN members were part of it. Several Holostars EN members were part of it. Obviously, Niji EN members were part of it. You had a lot of VTubers in it. Some of the .eve girls from former Specialite EN were also part of it. There were a lot of VTubers in it. This year, they did another event. This time, Luca Kaneshiro, I think, he hosted a GTA role-playing event. And again, it was open for a lot of people. Again, Vispo EN members were part of it. Basically, a lot of the participants that were part of the previous event were also back, except now we had even more participants, I think. And one of them was Oli. Crazy Oli herself, from Hololive Indonesia, was also part of it. Which was awesome. That was cool. Now yes, guess what? Slightly controversial. There were some people that were giving Oli shit because how dare you participate in a Nijisanji event, you know? Now Oli ignored that and simply did their thing. Nothing else happened. All is good. Everyone had fun, and it was a cool event, right? And I think we need more of this. We need more events like this. You know, it's just people making cool content. You know, cool content, no drama. Ignore the people that are trying to make a big stink out of it. Just make a cool event. You know, VTubing is entertainment. We're here to have fun. We're here to make cool things. Let's, rather than, you know, spending like times making Google Docies and drama farm, how about we instead just actually focus on what is fun, right? Let's actually focus on cool content. Imagine that. Cool, fun content. That's all that matters. There were some people that were saying, oh, but, you know, you shouldn't do that because look at what they did to Dokibird. Bro, Dokibird already tell people, guys, leave it in the past. She wants to move on. You know, she doesn't want people to go after anyone. Dokibird has long moved on from the whole thing. Like, let it rest. Let the thing rest already. You know, at the end of the day, this is an entertainment industry. And we're here to have fun. The world is already tough as is, with lots of, you know, controversies all over the place, with lots of, you know, major world events happening all over the place, lots of stress. I think people just want to have some fun and not care about, you know, more trouble than it's worth, you know? And that's the thing that JP has best, is that in JP you can just have fun, usually. But sometimes it feels like in the end you cannot have fun because there's always someone trying to make a stink out of everything. And like, and the people that just want to have fun and have like a refuge from like all the trouble that they have to go through in their daily lives, whether it being working hard, you know, worrying about, you know, housing, or worrying about, you know, prices of like food or like other things, right? Or like having to worry if there's like gonna be another war or something like that, right? The people that just want to have a break from all that, from all the, you know, the real world actual big problems. Like, it's almost like you can't really have a break because, oh no, now we have to make a stink about some petty drama that happened, right? And yes, in the case of Nijisanji, it was not petty drama. Yes, I understand that. It was a big deal, right? But again, Doki Bird has moved on. She told people to move on. You know, Nijisanji talents themselves, many of them have moved on. Many of them are just trying to make fun content now. You know, like the entertainers that they're supposed to be, you know. Many of them weren't even involved in whatever trouble happened in the first place. Like, let's just actually focus on having fun and entertaining ourselves. Maybe I feel like most of the drama in the end wouldn't happen if people just focus on making good content and having fun. Legit. Again, just like JP does.
I won't let you.
Because EN dramas tend to drag on. They drag on. They're not like JP dramas that are over like in a bit. It's rare for like JP dramas to like drag on. They usually tend to be solved quickly in a matter of days. EN dramas feel like go on for weeks, and even after weeks, the consequences are still felt usually. Usually for like months, sometimes years in the case of like some others. Drummers from the West are not prepared for Indonesians. But yeah, but this is why I say it's actually a good thing that maybe EN is split, because as long as people like that do not become like the core of a community, they can be ignored and you can simply just focus on making cool events. And this is why I think it's actually a good thing that the more political and drama side of YouTubing tends to themselves self-isolate, because in this way they're not also causing others to have red lines. And by the way, when I talk about like a political side of YouTubing, I'm not specifying any particular side of it. I don't care which side. I really do not care which side. I've seen people do it on both sides. I really do not care which side it is. It's both sides do it. I've seen it on both sides personally. And I honestly do not care which. I just want to have fun, and I want to see the creation of a competitive EN scene where people are just, you know, focusing on, you know, good sportsmanship, cool collab events, competitive events, and letting whatever happens outside stay outside. You have some problem with another VTuber? I'd love if problems could be solved rather than with Google Docs. They could be solved with like, you know what? Let's have a Street Fighter 1v1 and solve it like this. Good old wrestling style, you know? Beat the shit out of each other in esports instead. I think that's much better. Make good content out of it rather than making it petty. Now, to be fair, I would prefer if a community in the end of esports would be more fueled by good sportsmanship and the desire to get better and compete with each other rather than like, you know, squashing beef personally. But if it has to be done, if beef needs to be squashed, let it be at least be, you know, in competition rather than Google Docs. If it has to be done, be it that way instead.
I'll change the tide of battle.
But yeah.
The perfect move.
Right now, I think the thing that needs to be done first and foremost is connect everyone, right? Connect the like-minded individuals. Who are the like-minded individuals? Those would be VTubers in EN that are, well, I say EN, but as long as they're like, you know, people that are willing to be part of the ecosystem, it doesn't matter if they're not EN or not. I mean, Dokibird once made an Apex event, and you had JP VTubers in it as well. You also had JP VTubers in it, you know, Suna and QP participate in it. It was the Dokibird Apex, Oversight Apex custom.
The perfect move.
We had Reject members, we had Vispo JP members, right? So, it's fine, it doesn't matter where they're from, as long as they're like willing to be a part of it. I think that's what matters. It doesn't matter if they're big or small. We just need to create that environment first. So the like-minded individuals would be people that want to be a part of it, right? People that want to focus on like events, competitive events, and collaborative events. People that play either are already themselves competitive gamers, or if they're not necessarily competitive gamers, people that are willing to put in the effort to compete, right? And this is important, because this is what makes like the JP scene special. A lot of them didn't even start as competitive gamers. A lot of them were just people that just wanted to be a part of it. They just, like, Aki Rosenthal is a good example of it. I made an entire video about Aki Rosenthal. She wasn't a competitive gamer. She was just participating in an ARC event, and then a GTA event. And then she made friends in those. And she decided, you know what? I want to collab with more of these people. These people are cool. I wanna be with them a bit more. So she decided, well, a lot of them are competitive gamers.
Let us begin.
I'm gonna get into competitive games to play with them. And she did. And guess what? The other friends that she made were super happy about that. Hell yeah! We're gonna teach you how to play the games. And they taught her. And then guess what? She was invited to join competitive events. Is she new? Is she not that good as the rest? Sure. Doesn't matter. That she was invited, she was taught, she was coached. Fast forward to today, she's in so many competitive events. And in some of those games, she's actually gotten pretty good. Street Fighter, she's a diamond rank player now. You need to understand something about the JP competitive scene. JP understands that the best way to include and have a thriving JP scene is by investing in people, in participants. And what I mean by investment, I mean, okay, this person is not a competitive gamer yet, but they have the willingness to become one. So we're gonna give them the opportunity, and we're gonna invite them, we're gonna coach them, and maybe, you know, to really give them a sense that they're actually, you know, having their own fair share of victories. We're gonna have a space for them, for newcomers, where they can compete with each other, right? And this is why a lot of VTuber events in JP, usually the teams are split with an even split of, you know, experienced, strong players, together with like newcomers and maybe not as good players. Look at the Dito Cup. You know, the Dito Apex Customs. Every single team always has at least one newcomer or like low rank player. Every single team. By the way, those are the tournaments that Heiko's Bells from Holo EN participated in. Bay is not a competitive gamer.
Keep it up.
But Bay was interested in participating. She always said she wanted to participate in at least like one tournament like that. She wanted to see what it felt like. And she made friends, right? She made friends because she participated in the GTA events from VCR. She decided she wanted to participate, and guess what? She was given a try. Dito made the tournament, and every single team would have one newcomer or like low rank player, and Bay was given the opportunity to participate in it. And she's participated twice now. Not once, but twice. And this is how the JP allows for like new people to join in. So like people can't really criticize the JP for being, oh, it's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of cliques, coming together.
Perfect move.
Not really, because there are so many events where newcomers are given a chance to be a part of it. You can't even call it a clique because consistently they're always getting new people in it. Hell, at the beginning of this year, of 2026, they even made the Newtown GTA event.
My turn.
What was Newtown? The gimmick of Newtown was that veteran players, veteran participants of GTA would be paired up with new participants, right? So every single newcomer would have a mentor that's a veteran. And thanks to that, Newtown, we saw so many like new, smaller VTubers get known and start growing as a result of that. It was super cool. You know, some of them were VTubers that were already, you know, a part of the industry for a long time, but people didn't know who they were because they were very small. One good example was Ieri Popo from Nanashi Inc. Ieri Popo grew a lot as a result of Newtown.
You're a lifesaver.
But there were many others that also grew as a result of Newtown. And to be fair, this is something that happens every single time. But Newtown was special in the sense that, okay, this always happens every time, but this time we're gonna lean into that even more. And that's what happened. Half of the participants were newcomers. Before, the newcomers would be a minority. This time, they were half of them.
I better do something.
And that was cool. Oh, we're fucked. We need to run.
See ya.
Run away. We need Tita to beat this. We need Tita to use her blind effects on enemies. Also, I'm not in the right place. We are not in the right place.
Phew, that was close.
So yeah. So, this is why whenever I see events like VCraft Enchanted or the GTA event that Nishisanji En hosted, I'm like, hell yeah, this is awesome, this is what we need. And I'm not gonna let some bygone drama from like 2 years ago get in the way of getting ourselves one step closer to getting the collaborative events that I think we need in the end. You know? Some drama that happened 2 years ago that the people involved, including Dokibird, has already moved on and has already told people to move on as well. You know, I don't want to let like that kind of drama from like years ago get in the way of being one step closer to my goal in this case. Because honestly, I'm super invested. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I have an agenda. My agenda is the creation of these ecosystem, of this community, right? That has become my agenda. Ever since I got into the JP side of things, it has become my agenda to also bring it to Yen. So I want to continuously promote these kinds of events because I think it's great. I think it's a good thing. Vispo Yen also hosted recently a Minecraft event like that as well, where they got a bunch of indies to join in. Like, they had over 100 streamers be a part of it. Dokibird and Enna collab, I don't think that's gonna happen ever. You know, hey,
This chest looks
I don't see it happening. That's not gonna happen. That's fine, you know. Not everyone needs to collab, you know. We don't need to force everyone to collab. What I don't want to see, however, is if people saying, "Oh no, that person is friends with that person. Oh, that person is friends with Dokibird. We can't let her collab. Oh, that person is friends with Enna. We can't let her collab." Like, no, that's the thing I don't want to see. I don't want VTubing to be reduced into World War I alliances, you know, where you have one faction and then you have another faction, and we can never get them people aligned with one or the other, like interact. No. Look, I don't like that kind of thing. Enna and Dokibird, maybe they'll never collab with each other. Understandable. Let's not force them to collab. But that's where it ends, right? That's where it ends. It should not spread out to their circle of friends. It should not spread out to, you know, now their friends too need to be a part of that, you know, feuds. Now the events that everyone that is aligned with each side need to be affected by that. I think it should end just on Enna and Dokibird not interacting with each other, but that's where it ends, right? Everyone else should be fair game. Everyone else collabs with each other. Everyone else participates in whatever they want. And honestly, Enna and Dokibird too should be able to participate in events as well. If they don't want to interact with each other, that's fine. Let them not interact with each other. But they should still be allowed to, you know, participate in events too. All for the sake of cultivating an ecosystem where we're putting, because again, we're putting the audience first. What does the audience want? Entertainment. Why? Because VTubing is in the entertainment industry. We all are here for entertainment, right? If VTubing wasn't fun, none of us would watch VTubers, right? We're all here for entertainment. VTubing should be entertainment first and foremost. And so, I think for the sake of creating fun entertainment, we should put these feuds to the side and just create good content. Let's bring some more professionalism onto VTubing. You know, rather than talent first, let's go audience first. I mean, I don't want to really start that slogan because, you know, what the audience wants sometimes can be at the odds with each other, because what if your audience is divided, right?
You made up my mind.
What if your audience is divided in two? Then going audience first is a bit more difficult because, you know, maybe you appeal to one side, but the other is not going to be put first, right? So maybe starting that kind of slogan is probably a mistake as well. You kind of need to tread carefully.
Steaming.
And we've also seen, like, in other situations where maybe a VTuber wants to do something, but maybe there are some viewers that might be more parasocial, and they're like, no, we don't want you to collab with that person. Usually happens, you know, in male-female collabs. Mostly, honestly, I see it more in EN these days rather than GP. GP also happens, but it depends which side of GP we're talking about. The more idol-like, maybe. And even then it varies.
This is so picturesque.
Oh! Found a parchment parcel. Hey, we found the book.
There it is, the woodpecker book.
So, this is the spot the poem was referring to.
It was here! Ayame needs to collab with Kanade to kill the meme. Yeah.
Wow, it's steaming.
Bridges can be burned or collapsed, but it can be rebuilt and repaired. Yeah, you know what? I like that. I like that idea. You know what? Sure, maybe you can set fire to a bridge, but you know what? You can also build a new bridge.
I'll pick this. Take it easy now.
And I am a big fan of building bridges. Call me the bridge builder. You know? Let's build bridges. Why is it because a bridge is burnt, it needs to stay gone forever, you know? Why can't we just build a new bridge? Let's build a new bridge. You know, it makes things much better. You know, it connects two sides. That's why I think we should approach the mentality of... that's why I want to approach the mentality of this creation, of these, like, esports competitive scene. It should be open to anyone who wants to be a part of it. And when I say wants to be a part of it, I mean they truly want to be a part of it. Culturally, including culturally. And I need to stress this. It needs to also include they want to be a part of it culturally. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of, like, people who come from the outside, they join a place, and then they immediately want to change everything. You know, they want to change everything. You know, basically tourists is what I'm talking about. I think nobody likes tourists. where they disrespect the established culture of a community, you know, they immediately start calling out and gatekeeping the people that have been in the community for like long before them, right? Kind of like that. I think we should be welcoming of anyone that truly wants to be a part of it. They want to integrate into the culture, right? Of the community, of the ecosystem, right? They want to be a part of it in a harmonious way. You know, when you see like non-JP VTubers integrate in the JP scene, what do they all have in common? It's because they all genuinely are integrating. You know? They might be foreigners joining into a JP ecosystem, but they are all seamlessly blending in because they are truly becoming a part of it. That's what we need to look forward to, including EN. EN should also be like this. So, in a theoretical EN competitive scene, that's what I mean by like-minded individuals. They are people that are united in the desire to create fun events. You know, fun events, competitive events. They all are united under this sense of good sportsmanship. Alright? And I think this is really important. Good sportsmanship. Because obviously esports can also cause a lot of drama. Right? But if JP can make it work, then so can EN. EN can also make it work. Now yes, there is a lot of... I've seen some competitive events in EN, and they usually also end up with drama. Good example would be the Marvel Rivals tournament that was hosted by Iron Mouse and Connor. Did not end very well, there was a lot of drama. There was also another drama that there was some prize money issue, and some people complained, oh, they added a bunch of players that weren't even VTubers, they just became PNG VTubers overnight and all that.
Please come again.
I think we need to look at what JP does and learn from them. How does JP make it work? And then we replicate it. Right? Because JP has made it work for like over 8 years now. They're doing something right, if they can do it without drama. With like tournaments almost every week. Alright people, it's 1:30 AM, I have to go and work in the morning. Thank you for coming on my tea. Sweet dreams. Tourists that are there to see how it is and understand that they are doing tourism is okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it's fine. I mean, I think people like that would not be considered tourists, though. Generally, people like that tend to be very much welcome. If you are someone who is genuinely curious about something, you're not trying to cause trouble. You're not trying to change things how people are doing it. You're not trying to change the established culture of the community. You know, you're not. You know. You basically you're keeping harmony. You know that Japanese concept of harmony, wa? That kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that you need for someone to join an ecosystem. Some people call that, oh, but that's just being fake. No, it's not being fake. It's being like a regular, you know, sane person in society. You know, I feel like COVID really hurt. COVID really hurt how people behave in society. You know, COVID was terrible. For a lot of people, you know. COVID was terrible in the sense that a lot of people just don't know how to exist in society. And I think this is one example, to the point where being just a decent person in a community is now being seen as fake, because people aren't immediately at each other's throats, immediately saying what's on their mind. I mean, fuck. If I see someone and I think their shoes are ugly, I'm not gonna immediately say, hey, your shoes are ugly. I mean, am I being honest? Sure, but that's also called being an asshole. It's not fake if I keep it to myself that I think the shoes are ugly, you know? It's being decent. It's being polite. I don't need to tell everyone what I think about something. Sometimes, yeah, I'm gonna say what I think. But there's a time and a place for everything. I just met someone for the first time. Hey, your shoes are ugly. What the hell? That's just being an asshole. Sure, maybe if it's someone that's your friend, that you already know for a long time, you already have like built-in trusts with each other, to the point where you can be honest with that person, you know, and you're still gonna be friends. Sure, maybe it's like, man, hey dude, what are those shoes you have over there, you know? I don't like them very much. You know, this is like your longtime friend, you know, you've known each other for 5 years, you know, you're good friends. You know, you screw around with each other, you're fine. Okay, man, what the hell are those shoes you're wearing? Okay, I can understand that being a thing. You know, personally, I wouldn't really do it because I just don't like doing that. It's just not the kind of thing I like to do. You know, if a friend of mine might be wearing like shoes. Okay, to be fair, I don't really comment on people's clothes usually, but theoretically, let's imagine I comment on someone's clothes. You know, I probably wouldn't do it still, because in my perspective, it's like, okay, maybe I don't like their shoes, but they're wearing it, and if they're wearing it, maybe it's because they like them, and if they like wearing it, who am I to say otherwise, right? They feel good in it. Let them be in their let them be in their shoes, you know. So I wouldn't do it, but I also wouldn't really. I also wouldn't really have any issues with like close friends just being honest with each other on it, right? No problems there. But like, again, people that barely know each other immediately going at each other's throats. I don't think it's fake to keep the opinion to yourself. I think just being decent, because this is someone you barely even know, right? It's someone you barely even know. You're not going to immediately start, you know, speaking your mind. That's how you make no friends. You know, that's how you make no friends. And maybe the people that call each other fake for like, they're all fake. They don't immediately, you know, speak their mind. Maybe those people are the ones that might have some issues, you know, making friends in the first place. You know, this is not like a dig at anyone that might genuinely have trouble making friends, but like, I have this opinion that if a lot of people if there's a common problem that you have with a lot of people, maybe the common denominator might be you, and it might be worth, you know, reflecting on yourself and seeing, okay, what can I improve maybe in this sense? I mean, to be fair, if you're completely fine the way you are, I mean, hey, there's nothing I can say at that point. You do you. But I feel like sometimes making friends can be just as easy as just don't be an asshole. Just sometimes it's best to keep things to yourself. There's a time and a place for everything. There's a time for honesty, and there's a time where you just are polite and keep it to yourself. I think the Japanese understand this very well. Sometimes they overdo it, yes. I'm not gonna say it's perfect. It's definitely not. But I think there's a balance that needs to be struck. And the problem is that I think the balance on yen is not struck, because I've seen a lot of VTubers that immediately are easy to call like the Japanese super fake because they don't immediately call each other, and they think they all hate each other secretly and all that. Like, bro, chill. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. I just don't like the shoes. That's all. I just don't like the shoes, but I don't want to be an asshole and say it. That's all. You know? It's not that deep. I don't think that's fake. You aren't forced to walk in their shoes. Exactly. I don't want to leave, but the supervisor's looking at me watching your stream, so see ya. Thank you for coming though, Kings. Don't get yourself in trouble. Oh, any new developments? You betcha. Damn, that voice crack, damn. We brought the book. Can you check if it's the right one? The herb woodpecker. This is a pleasant surprise. This is the book. I can't believe it. That was too easy. To be honest, I thought it was a fool's errand for sure. I'm amazed you actually found it. Now I can be sure you're up for the rest of the task. Wait, there's more? Excuse me? The rest of the task? There's more? That researcher actually hit a total of 3 books, which of course means there are still 2 left. Did I not mention that part? Nope, this is the first I've ever heard. I've heard it. How odd. Well, no matter. You've come too far to turn back now, haven't you? It's important to see things through. Well, I'm not so sure. But then I did have to rack my brain to read that weird code. Actually, we did something similar in Ruan too. Ah, then you should be more than capable. There are no words involved in the next hint. What? Really? A picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say. Take a look at this. Ah, wait, this is definitely Bull Blankman. I've got nothing. I remember this one. Actually, I know the solution of this one. It's in the outskirts. I don't know what to say. The title of this book is Hertz's Adventure Volume 2. Okie dokie. Hertz's Adventure Volume 2. Got it. Volume 1 is still in the archives. A lot of folks complain about not having the sequel. You'll just have to keep your eyes peeled and hope you find it. Another conundrum. It might have been easier if it was a bunch of words again. Well, beggars can't be choosers. Good luck. I'll be waiting right here as always. We'll be going now. I guess we should get this over with. I remember the solution though. It's outside. It's a bunch of pillars.
Wait, wasn't there something like that on the Plains Road?
It's a bunch of pillars. But yeah. So that's why I say, like I said, guys, I have an agenda. I have a goal. I have a dream. I want to help cultivate an EN esports scene. Again, I say EN, but when I say EN, I mean English speaking. It doesn't matter if people actually are from English speaking countries, as long as they're willing to be a part of it and speak English. Hell, even if they don't speak English, I'm willing. It would be fun to see a mix, right? All I want is to see like more. I want EN VTubers to have a place where they can thrive. EN competitive VTubers, I mean. EN competitive gamers to have a place where they can thrive. Just like how in JP, if you are a competitive gamer, you have dozens upon dozens upon dozens of tournaments every year that you can like showcase your skills, improve your skills for, right? I want to create a place where EN VTubers that also want to be like that can also thrive. You know, just for example, you have VSPO EN members. They're very great at games, you know, but they don't have many opportunities to showcase those skills because there's not that many tournaments in EN, right? They're very limited. It's rare for them to participate in a tournament. Not because they don't want to, but because they can't, because they're limited, right? And there are many other VTubers like that would love to be able to participate in competitive events, but they can't because they don't have those opportunities. So I would like to create an ecosystem where VTubers like that have a place where they can thrive, where they can, you know, connect with each other, and in making those connections, they can then more easily invite each other for more competitive events, because the more connections you have, the easier it is to create competitive events. Found the parchment parcel. There you go. We got it.
Found it. So the clue was about the stone pillar.
Oh, we can't do this just yet.
That was satisfying.
Right?
Your opponent.
So creating competitive events so we can thrive and have a side of the community that can grow with a VTuber audience that is looking into that, right? Because I think this is also a very important thing. One of the reasons why competitive gamers in EN don't do as well is because that kind of audience has not been cultivated yet. And for that, we need to create the proper ecosystem where VTuber fans that are into that kind of thing can congregate, can all gather and find a place. Because really, I think there's a lot of people like that out there. You have no idea. In the comment sections of my VSPO videos, I have had so many comments of people saying, you know, not just in the comment section, but other places too, even in like comment sections of people reacting to it, to my videos. People say, whoa, I didn't know something like this existed. Hell yeah, I love competitive games. I'm gonna watch more VSPO now.
Fire!
I have seen so many people that did not know VSPO existed. But because of my videos, now they know, and they're like, holy shit, I love this. A lot of people out there are competitive gamers, a lot of people out there love esports, but they are not aware that VTubing has a place for that. So that's why I think by creating an ecosystem they can congregate there. And yes, competitive gamers that are not into VTubing might find their niche to get into VTubing as well. And if they are people willing to genuinely be a part of the community, then there's no issue with that. They'll become a part of the community, part of the culture, part of the competitive culture that hopefully can be influenced by the JP culture. Why? Because it works really well. Very rare drama, very rare to have any drama. People generally get along really well. They're just making fun content. They're having fun. It's great. It's the most fun I've ever had in VTubing. Is the JP esports scene, the JP esports VTuber scene. I want to see that in EN. And we have great potential in EN for it. Events like VCraft Enchanted and the Niji GTA video, the Niji EN hosted GTA event, as well as the Vispo EN Minecraft event, they're great because it allows people to start. It gets people to start getting to know each other. You have all these content creators coming together to do a fun event. It allows them to connect with each other, right? Some of them might become friends. Some of them might realize, huh, we vibe. And maybe they'll start collabing more. And by collabing more and becoming friends, well, they might decide, I have all these connections that I can use to make it my own event now, right? So that's why I'm super supportive of these events. Because even though they're not exactly the competitive events that I want to see, that's fine. It still helps my goal. It still helps my goal of getting us one step closer to it. Because have people within it being connected with each other is very important. Because that also brings that element of mutual respect, right? In JP, like so many of them know each other, right? Because of all the events they've been a part of. Newcomers also end up being paired up with the veteran players, you know, on purpose, so that they can get to know new people and cultivate connections.
My blade isn't working.
As a result of that, people generally have mutual respect in JP. They respect each other, they tend to be each other's friends, even if they're acquaintances, because they've already, you know, met each other for many kinds of events. They have that kind of mutual respect, and that's very important because that adds to the layer of the sportsmanship that an event has. You know, rather than people being hostile towards each other, people are praising each other's skills in games, in competitive events. I've seen it many times. We need that in the end, because that's the kind of mentality, the kind of community that encourages people to be a part of it. It would be really bad if you join a competitive community and everyone there is super hostile and is like giving you shit for it. Like you're trying your best to learn a game, a super harsh competitive game, and everyone else is just giving you shit. That's really demotivating, and that makes people not want to be a part of it anymore. You don't see that in JP. Again, Aki Rosenthal, she was not a competitive gamer. She got into competitive games because she just wanted to, you know, be with people that she made friends with in events. And she got so much support from others. She was always being supported by others all the time. You know, mentally supported. That kind of cheer is what makes people want to be a part of your community, right? Like genuinely, they will be glad to be a part of it. So we need that. We need those kinds of vibes, where people are like cheering for each other. You know, you lose, you participate in the tournament, you give it your very best. You lose, you have a good cry at the end, and then you cheer for the others, right? I find that beautiful. JP is full of that.
Chest looks good.
Lapless Darkness, you know, when she was participating in the Shishiro Cup second,
The enemy's strong.
she participated in it. She got beaten. She cried, and then she immediately started supporting others, cheering for others, you know. Lapless has a lot of connections. She makes a lot of friends. She was just cheering for them all.
How's this?
That's the kind of thing I want to see, you know. It's really sad when whenever I see an EN tournament. And then by the end of the tournament, everyone is complaining, oh, other people were too sweaty. This is unfair, this should not be allowed and all that. It's like, come on. Enjoy the process of competing for what it is, you know? Have fun in competing. Maybe you just weren't good enough. Embrace that. You gave it your very best. You had fun with it, right? That's the whole point. It was good content, right? You gave it your good shot. Now, yes, sometimes it can be unfair because, okay, maybe the rules weren't like... The rules for the participation maybe weren't very well organized. I mean, hey. And happens, right? But that's just the kind of tournament we're a part of. You know, even Shibuya Hall has made mistakes in his tournaments, you know, in the balancing for the teams and all that. But everyone understands it, and you don't see any participants blame any of that. You want sweaty, not salty. Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. A lot of people complain, for example, that in the V-Psycho Season 6, Apex V-Psycho Season 6, that the winning team, Kuzuha's team, wasn't balanced because Kana and Kuzuha both play at a master rank level, but they don't play rank, so they're always diamond peak, right? So it kind of screws up the balancing because, oh, it means that their team is too strong, even though because they get rated as diamonds, even though they play like masters. I mean, hey, that's just the rules, you know. Shibuya Hall went with the rules that based on ranks. That's that. That's that. You gotta accept it. If Shibuya Hall really saw a problem with it, he would change the rules. If he doesn't change the rules, then he thinks that's the best way. But every other VTuber that's participating is not complaining about it. Every other VTuber is completely fine with it.
I'll be your opponent.
I say this because there were some people in the audience that did complain. Back then.
Let's keep it up.
So yeah. You know, I have an idea for something that I'd like to do in the future as well, that I think could potentially help in this goal of making the scene. Because, you see, in the future, right now, I can't do it, right? But in the future, if I could, I would really like to host my own tournaments. You know, we don't really see tournaments happen that much, so I have always been of the mentality that if you want to see something done, maybe you should do it yourself. That's how the Beginner's Guide series started in my channel. I did that because I wanted guides about VTubers in a particular style, and I didn't see it wasn't being done. So I decided, fine, I'll do it myself, and I did. I still have this mentality. Oh, no one's making Vispo videos? I love Vispo though. Fine, I'll do it myself. Easy. No one talks about the Japanese esports scene for VTubers. I wonder why. Fine, I'll do it myself, and I did. I want to see more EN tournaments. Now, making a tournament is more easily said than done, right? And that's not gonna be something I'm gonna be doing anytime soon. But you know, guys, that's something I want to do. It is a goal of mine. One day I would like to do it. I would like to do it and host my own tournaments. Doesn't matter the game. Could be Apex, probably not Apex because it needs a lot of players. But could be Apex, could be Street Fighter, could be League of Legends, right? Those are 3 games that I play. Valorant could be cool too, but I don't play Valorant much, so I don't feel suited for a Valorant tournament, right? But the other 3 is easier for me. Because they're games that I play more. Hell, could even be other games. I'd like to host my own tournament. Now, it's a bit difficult. I don't have the connections. First of all, I'm very inexperienced. It would definitely be a lot of work. I need to have the preparation, probably the funding. I mean, I wouldn't go crazy with the costs. But depending on how hard I go, I probably would start simple. Maybe with a simple show match to make it like cheap. and gain experience before going into bigger ventures. Still though, my biggest hurdle is I don't have the connections yet. Even though I've been doing VTuber videos for a long time, unfortunately I'm still a bit of an outsider, you could say, in the sense that I am not exactly well acquainted with any VTubers, right? And this ends up being a limited factor. A lot of people see me as a clipper rather than a content creator, for example, right? I am still considered by many to be a clipper rather than a content creator. And, you know, this can also make it difficult to make, you know, to do collabs in the future, potentially. Let's see. Right, we're gonna return, right? Yeah, we're gonna return.
I have to keep getting better.
Ooh, she has a new skill. Cruel Blow. Powerful blow finishing blow on one enemy with low health. Ooh, I see. Wait. Ah, it's stronger than this one, I see. I see. But yeah, I lack the connections right now. That's right now my biggest hurdle. Because... Oh, he's also got one. Safeguard. Protect now from enemy attack. Damage. Ooh, only takes 10% of the damage. Yeah, that is nice. Look at him. Protective of Estelle. Connections is my biggest hurdle. Because even if I don't have much funding, even if I go like with a very simple, you know, cheap tournament with barely any production quality, I still need participants. And ideally, if I really want to promote like this scene, ideally I would want to have participants that are more well known in the scene that I want to do things. So for example, it would be cool if I could include Holostar's EN members, Beastbo EN members, the .eve girls, or anyone else like that. Hell, Dokibird would be great too, but I think she's outside of my reach. A lot of these VTubers are outside of my reach, I'm gonna be honest. This is kind of my issue with connections. Not having those connections makes it a bit harder to plan out such things and invite, because I would prefer to make it invitational. I think making it open for everyone to join is much harder. Very few VTubers do that. Amai Wimoka does it with a Mocha Cup. It's very hard. It requires a lot of organization. I'm not up to that level yet. I'm not at that level. I prefer make an invitational, which is what most VTubers do. They make invitationals. They just choose the participants, invite them, and try to balance the participants. Or you could do a more mixed kind of invitational, like what Shibuya Hall does, where in the V-Psycho specifically, V-Psycho Apex, where Shibuya Hall invites the team leaders, and then he allows the team leaders to themselves invite the other participants. And there's like usually a criteria that you have to follow, an evaluation criteria, which is usually based on rank. This way the team captains can build their teams with that in mind, so that the teams are not unbalanced. It's like a point system. Yeah, Doki's interesting. If you get her ear, it is not unlikely she joined. It's complicated. It's because she's really big, right? I don't see myself as being able to reach her. But I would love to. Maybe one day I could reach out to her. But that's not gonna happen anytime soon, probably. But still, I would like to make tournaments, and I think it would be cool to make like a show match kind of thing. That's why I think starting with either Street Fighter or League of Legends is best. Because you need, as much as I would love, you know, to do an Apex event, and maybe even invite Arya Kuroha for it, Apex requires a lot of participants. I'm not at that level yet. I need to make more connections for that kind of thing. So yeah. But with Street Fighter and League of Legends, you don't need as many participants. With League of Legends, you could... I was thinking, for example, do something like the Kasen tournament. Not like LTK, because LTK is way more production quality and has more teams. No, like the old Kasen tournaments that he used to do. He started with just 2 teams, you know? I'm gonna invite streamers to make 2 teams. Those 2 teams are gonna be coached and are gonna practice for like a while. A few days, maybe. A few weeks. And then we're gonna have a huge show match at the end between the 2 teams. Something like that. Simple, right? I was thinking, if I were to start with League of Legends, I would do that. I would try and reach out, invite different VTubers, right? A good mix of like VTubers that are already used to League and VTubers that are like more new or low rank, because I want to do this. I want to do it like JP does in this sense, because it's the best way to get new people into the ecosystem, right? That way you can get the veteran players guide the newcomers or the lower rank players. It also gives like more of a chance for different kinds of VTubers of different skill levels to be able to be a part of it, right? So I would probably have a good mix between all that. And invite, 10 VTubers, 5 on one team, 5 on the other team. Get myself someone to coach, see if I can reach out to someone with more experience to coach each team. And make an event, host an event like that. I don't think I could be the one actually hosting the stream because my internet is not consistent enough. My internet is not powerful or consistent enough to do something like that. So I would probably ask someone else to co-host with me, right? That adds another layer of connections that I would need. But I would like someone to co-host with me, and that person could maybe be the ones hosting the stream. I was even thinking, Almighty gave me the idea of maybe I could create a new YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel is dedicated just for like competitive events that I host, right? For example, Kasen has an official LTK channel where he does that. I was thinking of doing that. That way my co-host could be the one, basically hosting the stream on that channel that I create, and we could both host it together, but he would be the one to actually host the stream because he probably would have better internet than me, right? Because it would be bad if the main POV ended up crashing because of internet. It would still be cool if every single VTuber has their own POV, because you know me, I like to combine people's POVs to make like videos about it, and I would absolutely make a video about the event, absolutely. But yeah, League of Legends is a good start. Another one that I'd like to do would be a Street Fighter one. Yeah, the co-host would be the one streaming, exactly. Just for technical reasons. And I would also like to do, and especially because I would like my co-host to be someone who's more knowledgeable in the game. Now, I play competitive games a lot, but I am no professional. I am no professional, I am not high ranked at any of those games. I would like someone with more experience in hosting things, and also someone that has more knowledge about the games themselves. Obviously, again, makes it hard. There's that layer of connections. I would have to see what I could do. Maybe reach out to other content creators that are like used to that kind of thing. Because obviously I cannot reach out to any casters like they do in JP. I would have to reach out to content creators that are more used to that. But yeah, that's like something. Street Fighter is also another good one. Should be also not too difficult to add. You can maybe get like 8 VTubers into it, and you have those 8 VTubers in a tournament format. Maybe if you don't want to do elimination style, maybe you could instead do a league style, where they all get a chance to fight each other. That's something I would have to figure out to see. Or I could do a team style format like they also do in JP. But I think I prefer 1v1s, honestly. I do prefer 1v1s. But maybe the league style would be good. But anyways, that's like an idea that I have for the future. I want to make tournaments. But that brings me to the biggest hurdle that I need to overcome. Connections. how am I going to surpass these connections? I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm not very good at reaching out to people. That's one of the reasons why I don't have a VTuber model yet, is because I am too hesitant in reaching out to make commissions. I've never done commissions, right? So even reaching out to an artist is already like nerve-wracking, right? So content creators, even harder. Because especially any content creator that is bigger than me, I tend to be extremely nervous about reaching out to them. But honestly, I even feel like that about some of the smaller ones too, because like, oh, they're VTubers, I'm not a VTuber. Damn, how do I reach out? So yeah. There are platforms that help you to do that. Platforms? How so? But yeah, reaching out is the hardest part. Also because I feel like I'd like to get to know the people first before actually being able to counting them for like a tournament, right? Getting to know them, getting a feel for what their goals are as content creators. VGen, for instance. I guess I could give it a try, maybe. Maybe I could look into that. Identity that is based off JP, and I want the participants to have that kind of mentality, right? Once you have a good core participants of it, then you can start adding everyone else, because once you have your core members of that kind of community, they will influence everyone else joining in after that. That's why I have a bunch of people in mind for that, obviously, that I already know are kind of like-minded individuals in that sense. But again, the question is, would I be able to reach out to them? You know? Would I be able to reach out to them? It's difficult. It's something I'm gonna have to figure out. You know? But both within the small corpos and the indie side, there are a few that I have in mind. And maybe I will reach out to some of them. You know, doing a collab with them would perhaps be an easier way to go about it. But again, would I be able to do collab with them? That's complicated. Very difficult. I would have to see. But I have an idea that could help bridge that. One of my ideas for that is maybe doing VTuber interviews. I think that would be a decent way to be able to reach out. Because interviews are cool, right? I am someone who likes VTubers a lot. I already have a channel where I already introduce and talk about VTubers. So it's not crazy that I would make interviews, right? It adds a sense of legitimacy, even if it's a small one. Right? In that sense, it's also an opportunity for the person that I'm interviewing, because, I mean, who doesn't like being interviewed? Especially in a very competitive industry like VTubing, where it's hard to get yourself out there, especially when we're talking about a more competitive kind, right? Where it's not as widespread. In terms of VTubing, competitive VTubing in EN is not as mainstream, right? So if I were to reach out to competitive gaming VTubers in EN, maybe they themselves would have an incentive to also accept being interviewed by me. So it would be a win-win, a win for me, a win for them. And maybe by doing that, it would allow me to build that connection, that initial connection, right? To get ourselves, you know, to know each other a bit. I would be able to get a feel for the person. And maybe it would be easier to, in the future, okay, I can reach out to this person for like competitive events if I want to host an event in the future, right? Like imagine, I want to make a Street Fighter event or a League of Legends event, and I interview a VTuber that so happens to play those games, right? Even if the VTuber doesn't play those games, that's fine. They could always be invited later to learn. A lot of JP tournaments do this. They invite new people that never played that game and coach them in complete newcomer tournaments or something like that. So that's fine. Them not playing the game is not really a problem. Because again, if their motivation is to really cultivate this esports environment, a lot of them would be willing to do it. to learn an entire new game. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. Maybe going for interviews. And I think it will be easier to reach out to VTubers if I approach them first for an interview. Release the interview in the channel, and now that I already had this initial, this initial contact, it might be easier for me to be able to invite them for events in the future that I might want to do. Events that, because I'm going to get a feel for them, I'm going to get a feel if this person would be interested in that kind of events, right? Because obviously not every VTuber wants that. I would use the interview as an opportunity to kind of ask them questions as well related to that, as a way to get that feel. And I think this could be a good start for like an ecosystem that benefits everyone inside it. So yeah, it's something that I want to do. Probably after I'm done with the viewer-chosen beginner's guides. Because I'm working on the Kurumi Noa Spotlight, and we're very close to the viewer-chosen beginner's guide. So I'm probably going to work out on that next. And I'd like to actually maybe work on an interview, on a VTuber interview after that. I have already compiled a list of candidates. I'm not gonna say who they are, but I have a list of candidates that I'd like to interview, and they're all EN. Obviously, I don't know Japanese. How close we are for the Viewer Chosen Beginner's Guide? $50 away from the goal. So we're like what, 90% done, something like that. So once we're very close. So I'm already counting that the Viewer Chosen Beginner's Guide is going to be the next video after the Kurumi Noa Spotlight. Are you sure? Oh boy. Let me see. Let me check. Oh. You did? Well. There you go. I guess not anymore. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you. Bro, you're almost single-handedly funding the entire goal. Holy shit. Well, we got the goal. That confirms it. That confirms it. The Viewer Chosen Beginner's Guide is going to be the next video after the Kurumi Noa Spotlight. I need to make a video first announcing that though. I'm going to announce it... Should I make the announcement video before or after the Kurumi Spotlight? I think I'm gonna do it before I finish the Kurumi Spotlight. So I'm probably gonna work on it next week then, the announcement, because this way it gives people time to choose which VTuber is gonna be voted on, right? And this way I can also tell people already straight up, I'm gonna finish the Kurumi Spotlight, the Kurumi Noa Spotlight first, and only then will I do the Spotlight. So yeah, thank you though, thank you Christopher, thank you. Seriously, you have funded like most of the goal. So again, like I said, you get one pick straight up. It was supposed to be the four most voted, the four most requested VTubers in the comment section, but you have like contributed so much of the goal. I'm giving you one pick straight up. You get one of them. You get to choose directly one. I think from now on, I'm making it a rule that anyone who contributes a minimum of 25% of the goal gets to have a pick. That's gonna be a new rule. So, Christopher, you get one pick. Who do you want? Who do you want as a pick? I know you said Korone, but just to confirm, which VTuber, which Hololive member would you like to be in the vote of the Viewer Chosen Beginner's Guide? You get to choose one. You can go with the doggo? Okay. Then Korone is one of the four picks then. One of the four candidates. The other 3 will be the most 3 liked comments in the video that I will make to update the completion of the goal. Yeah, I'll pick the 3 most liked of the comments, and then I'll make a vote. I'm gonna keep the vote on. I was planning to keep the vote on until like what, 3 to 5 days, but because I'm still working on the Kurumi no Spotlight, I'm actually going to extend the goal until the end of the Kurumi Spotlight, the Kurumi no Spotlight. So yeah, the 3 most liked with a single name. Yes. Multiple picks per comment do not count. It needs to be one name, one comment. But I'll get to specify that in the video that I'll make, the update video. So yes, once I'm done with the Kurumi no Spotlight, I will end the poll. I will finish the poll. The poll will be considered finished. I will take down the video, the update video, because the update video is not supposed to be permanent. It's gonna be there for the duration, so that I don't confuse people that might find it afterwards, the video afterwards, right? So every time I complete a goal, I'm going to be making an update video. So you guys will know that the vote will be done once the update video is gone. And yeah, that's we'll see which one ends up being the most voted. I'm also thinking maybe that the second most chosen VTuber will automatically carry on for the next goal of the viewer chosen beginner's guide, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, because that also ends up giving less of a chance for more picks to be added. I'm still thinking about that. I'll decide that once I'm done with the viewer chosen beginner's guide first. We'll see. So yeah, I anticipate a bunch of this person, but also that with a bunch of elaboration. True. I need to make it really stress it out in the video. I hope people watch the video. A lot of people did not watch the first one. How do I know this? Because the average watching time is 2 minutes and it's a 7-minute video, so I know for a fact most people did not watch the video, so they don't know the rules, because I only say the rules halfway through the video. So I need to really stress the rules and straight up tell people that comments with multiples, it needs to be only one name per comment. Okay. I'm trying to communicate as clear as I can, because I don't want this to be an unfair vote. I want it to be as fair as possible. So yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. So yeah, the plans are there. I'm gonna be working on that beginner's guide after the Kurumi no Spotlight, and after that I can work on my interview and the Asta Leda beginner's guide, because the interview, obviously, I assume I'm going to follow the schedule of whoever I reach out to, right? I don't have a schedule, but VTubers in the end usually have schedules. I will go by their schedule, you know, meaning that I'm probably not going to get an answer immediately, and there's no guarantee that I'm going to even be accepted. So if I get rejected, time to move on to the next person in my list, right? That's going to take time, right? So I can still work on another beginner's guide at the same time as I work on the interview video. So it's going to be one of those times where I work on 2 videos at the same time, because I can actually do it. So nice. That's cool. That's good. Our plans are in motion. Hopefully I can get all of this done by the end, by July, right? All these videos done by July. You find the book? Yeah, sure, we sure did. Please check if it's the right one. There we go, we got it. Yep, this is the one. Now there's only one book remaining. Phew, we're on the final stretch. Okay, bring it on, lay it on me. No need to rush, I'll tell you all about it. The last book I want you to find is called 31 Cypress Trees. Here's the borrower's card. It has a strange riddle written on it again. Atop the hill are 31 cypress trees. 3 hares race and run off, nimbly, and I awaken with a throb, echoes of pain like A. Nebulous wave, the tremor, bleeds through my shell of armor. Under pale skies I still breathe. Ruthless love I kneel, guarding she who never forgives. 3 F B A R R E L S. This is a code. What is this code? What is this code? I don't remember the solution, so... 3rd floor? 3F? 3rd floor? What about the rest? Barrel. Oh, 3rd floor barrels. I see. Got the solution. It's 3rd floor. Oh, wait, I need to read. More bizarre poetry, huh? I'm starting to kind of make... I can't speak. It's starting to kind of make sense, though. So is it another riddle? It should be an easy for you now. Yep, it's the 3rd floor barrels. Look, the final, the capitalized ones. At the end, give you the solution. The steps you need to take will be the same as those before. Do your best to complete them. Wish us luck. We'll be back soon.
Alright, quest completed.
3rd floor barrels. So is it here or is it somewhere else?
If you look at this text from another side...
Oh, I see it now. The location.
Where is the 3rd floor? Aha! Right here. But wait. 3rd floor barrels, but there's no guarantee it's the central factory. It might be in a house in the city. Let's go there. Let's go to the city. I don't think it's here. But yeah. Lots of things I want to do for the future. Hopefully I can make some fun content. Third floor. The hell? What is that doing there? The tunnel? Wait, it's in the tunnel? What the hell? In the tunnel? There's no 3rd floor in the tunnel. What the hell? I want to check that out. Oh no, it's not in the tunnel. Where's the map going, I wonder? Oh, maybe it's a different building. It might be a building in a different place that I haven't checked out. Let's follow the road there. I swear I thought it was in the city though. Yeah, we need to go through here. Alright, let's go then.
This is the place for state-of-the-art tech.
Ah.
The lady at the guild is so cool.
The new orbital vacuum is so nice.
Well, actually, there is also a road over here.
Time to get moving.
This is the right road. The Ritter Roadway. The Night Roadway. I see.
This one's dangerous. Keep it together.
That's a big one.
We'll end this in no time. Ready? And...
Oh. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to achieve these goals. I think it could be the beginning of something fun in the end scene. Because you know, rather than criticizing the EN scene all the time. Why not build something in it instead? I think that's the best approach. I think that is the best approach. Create something instead. That's what I'm gonna do.
Let's do this!
So in a way, it's a good thing that I've been doing a lot of esports related videos in my channel. Because it also ends up gathering the audience that would be interested in that kind of content, right? It would be less natural if I wasn't making videos like this. But because I'm making videos that are like very esports based, I think though VTuber fans that would be already interested in that kind of content are already gathering in the channel. A lot of them are Vispo fans, but not all of them are Vispo fans. There's also non-Vispo fans as well.
Let's do this!
Let's go! How's this? There! Ha! Broke the defense!
There we go.
Come on!
Now on with the Rhino.
Joshua, do it!
On with the Rhino is left. Can he be death blown? He cannot. What a surprise.
Let's go! Too slow!
Nice.
You're mine!
Faster! Here, Estelle.
On a different note, I'm also, like I said, I started the stream by talking about this, but I forgot to elaborate because I was derailed with Specialite. I'm still adding VTubers into Nobunaga's Ambition. With all the Speciality additions that I wanted to add already being there, now I'm going to move on to Holo Justice and Armies. They were the only Hololive members that I was missing this entire time. They're gonna be next to be added. There's a bunch of VTubers still to add. I'd say around 40 to 50 VTubers I need to add into the game. It takes a while to add, but we're almost at the finish line. And then I'll be able to do the on-stream campaigns of Nobunaga's Ambition with all the VTubers, which is gonna be fun. So that's a goal that I want to achieve
All right,
in the near future, maybe during summer, July or August perhaps. I am gonna make a video about it though, an introduction video about it. So I'll only really start scheduling those streams once that is done. I'd like to have an opening for the campaign as well. A special opening just for that kind of campaign. It's gonna be fun seeing VTubers from all over the place. All fighting, all battling each other for control of Japan in the Sengoku period. Alright, we don't get the thing here. The weak to water, right? But I want to use Titanic Roar.
Broke the defense!
You're mine! I'll be your opponent.
There we go. Full impact.
Stun!
So I definitely need to finish the Trails in the Sky playthrough before that.
All right.
Because I will be focusing on streaming that game in particular. The first campaign in particular afterwards, after I finish the additions into the game.
You're mine!
I gotta say, the whole Life Dreams game is being great for me to get artworks that I can put into the game. I can just use the official artwork. Because I prefer to use the official artworks over fan art. Fan art is, you're kind of at the mercy of the fan artists, right? Whether you can use it or not. Official artwork tends to be better because, well, it's official artwork. Also, if I could though, if I had the resources though,
Treasure found.
And maybe this could be like a special something I might do for maybe a few of them, a few special ones. It would be cool if I could commission artworks for every single VTuber wearing historically accurate samurai armor. That would be cool. That would be really, really cool. Alternatively, there is another thing I was thinking of doing. You see, when I do those campaigns on stream, I want the community to be a part of it as well, right? We're gonna be playing in the POV of Omaru Polka, right? In the Sengoku period of Japan, where every single clan is being controlled by VTubers, and they're each battling to control Japan. I'd like to write a story based on what happens in that campaign. Whether I win or lose, so be it. Whatever happens, happens. That's going to be part of the canon, right? Because, you know, I like writing stories. So I'd like to write a full dramatized, you know, romanticized history story with VTubers.
How's this?
In the style of the Taiga dramas from NHK, perhaps.
I got your back, Estelle. Too slow.
And something that I'd like to do as well on top of that is do a meme review.
I'll show no mercy.
Because I know there's a lot of people that are interested in that kind of idea of the campaigns. I'd like to make a meme review, in the sense that during those campaigns I'll tell people to submit their memes related to the campaigns in the Discord server, right? And then, before we start every single stream, at the very beginning, we start with meme review. Right? Where I review all the memes that people made from the community. I think that would be a lot of fun. A way to involve the community into it as well.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not beat yet.
This way we can have fun based on all the random stuff that can happen in the game.
Found treasure.
Maybe, if the series becomes popular, maybe we could even do an art contest. You know, themed around Sengoku period. And hey, there you go. That way, maybe I can ask the artists if they'll let me use the artworks. The samurai artworks. For the campaigns. That would be fun. What better way? You don't have the resources? Well, maybe make a big event out of it. And by making a big event out of it, we can then do like a full review of all the artworks that all the artists that participated are doing. We do a full review on stream about it. This way different artists also get to showcase what their works were.
Hey, this is good. Want something to eat? Which one should I pick?
Though,
I'll take this.
thinking about it, it is an unironic paid in exposure, huh? Hopefully it's not too controversial. I mean, surely, if I were to do an artwork review on stream, surely that's a good compensation, right? I don't know what else I would be able to add. Alright. Here we go. The last one is right here. There we go. Third floor barrels. Alright, we found it. So this is the last book. Looks like our job as librarians is coming to an end. It's a long, long path. Wait, huh? What's wrong? There's a card stuck inside the book. Hey, there's something written on it. Oh, it's Bullblanc again. Good work, whoever you are. You've done well in coming this far. Allow me to introduce myself. Wait, no, it's not Bullblanc. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm a quartz researcher, and I am who hid these 3 books. I made these riddles in hopes of entrusting my life's work to someone. You have lived up to my expectations. I've included the quartz for you as a prize. Book inside the parchment. Thank you for humoring me. I'm sure one such as you will make good use of this quartz. P.S. For those who found this book by chance, please return this book to the second floor archives of the Central Factory. Well, how about that? It wasn't all just some prank. So it would seem. Did you check the parcel? Oh, right, let's see what's inside. Nice, Impede 3. There it is. We should confirm this with our client just to be sure. Yeah, let's do that. Alrighty. Let's do that. There's an item over there. Is it this way? Yes, it is.
Check. No issues to note.
Also, if I know, where in the map are we? Ah. This is the border to Grand Cell, to the capital. Yeah. Over to that side would be the border to the Republic, to the Calvard Republic, to the east. And Leiston Fortress is right here. We came from here, Ruan. And we were here before in Bos. And we started our adventure here in Roland. So we've already been through most of the map, over half of it. Starting in Roland, into Bos, into Ruan, and now we're in Zeiss. There you go. Okay, let's teleport. We'll finish the stream with this. Today is going to be a short one. I got some things I need to do as well. That is why.
Let's go, Estelle.
We didn't accomplish much today. In terms of, like, progressing through the game. We basically... Oh, actually I just noticed something. Oh, you can go up and down. We did a few side quests. Next stream we'll do more stuff. I need to work on the Kurumino Spotlight quick if I want to do all the things that need to be done. Well, that in the introduction video, I suppose. The update video, I mean. Oh? Is this... Yes, we found the very last book. Please check it just in case. Yes, there's no mistake. How amazing that you found all 3 books! You should work hard for it. Oh, right, we also found something else. It was in the same spot as the book. You mentioned the memo left behind by the culprit in the piece of quartz. Huh. So there was a particular motive for doing all this. Whatever the reason may have been, it sure causes a lot of headaches. You can have the quartz. You've worked hard for it after all. Great, thanks. So is our work here done? Yes, absolutely. The request is now complete. Phew, music to my ears. To be honest, I was kinda expecting to hear that there's actually one more. You really went over and above for us. There's nothing more to ask of you. Really, I'm grateful for you all. Thanks to you all. I don't have to work at all for a while. Wait, what? Nothing. Anyway, good job. I'll contact you again if I need more help. Sure thing. I mean, to be fair, she does pay us. Thank you.
Mission complete.
And there we go. We are done with another side quest. We only have the monster to do, but without Tita, that monster fight is gonna be very difficult. So we're going to advance through the story and do it a little bit later. Once we get Tita, we can do that one. Alright, we're gonna end it here. Seems like a good place to end it. It's a shorter stream today. Usually I tend to go for longer. But it's fine. There'll be more longer streams in the future, for sure. Alright, I yapped a lot actually. A lot about VTubing, about esports, about the EN scene, about future things I want to do as well. So yeah, be on the lookout for all the things, all the ideas that I have. I want to make more content and better. You know, hopefully it'll be the beginning of something great. Okay. So, I'll say goodbye now. Thank you guys for coming. Sweet dreams. See ya. Oh, I almost punched my mic. Sweet dreams.